Deep within the whispering mist, where the clouds taste like sponge sugar and the breeze sings in soft riddles, stood the sapphire spire. Azura, the blue fairy, lived there in a room carved from a single giant gemstone. Her gown was woven from the first light of the stars and the morning's freshest dew. Tonight was the Moonlight Festival, the most enchanting night of the year, and Azura was the guardian of the magic. Heart of the festival was the Great Lantern, a sphere of enchanted glass that held the glow spark, a fragment of the very first moon to ever rise. It was meant to bathe the world in a protective, silver-blue light so no creature would ever feel lost in the dark. But when Azura approached the pedestal, her wings stopped fluttering. The lantern was empty. The glow spark had vanished, leaving only a faint scent of burnt cinnamon behind. Azura! Azura! It's gone! A streak of sapphire light burst into the hall. It was Pip, the fastest flyer in the kingdom. Pip's job was to gather the humming blue from the hearts of sleepy flowers. But today his wings were dusty with worry. "I've checked the cloud kitchens and the star cellars," Pip chirped, hovering mid-air. "The spark isn't hiding in any of the usual shadows, and the moon is already waking up." Azura and Pip searched the Hall of Echoes together. Suddenly, Azura noticed a trail of tiny, pulsing footprints on the sapphire floor. They weren't just glowing, they were singing a tiny, high-pitched tune. "Look, Pip," Azura whispered, her voice filled with wonder. The glow spark didn't just fly away. It found a pair of feet and decided to go for a stroll. "We must follow the music." The trail led them to the loom of lapis, where the morning sky is knitted together. Tucked inside a spool of midnight blue silk sat Barnaby. He was usually a quiet navy-colored beetle, but now he pulsed with a rhythmic, brilliant radiance. Barnaby was tangled in the magical silk, looking like a tiny, vibrating diamond caught in a soft web of dreams. Pip reached out, mesmerized by the intense light coming from the little beetle. Azura carefully untangled the little traveler from the silk. As she scooped him into her hands, she felt the warmth of the moon pulsing through his shell. "Oh, Barnaby," she murmured, a smile returning to her face. "You didn't just find the spark, you drank it. You've become a living star." Barnaby let out a tiny, melodic burp, and a shower of crystalline blue bubbles drifted into the air around them. "We need the spark back for the lantern, or the forest creatures will lose their way in the mists," Pip said, tapping his nose thoughtfully. They knew they couldn't simply take the magic back. It had to be given freely. Azura watched Barnaby wiggle his many legs and realized he was overfilled with energy. "He's full of moon magic, Pip, and moon magic is very sensitive to tickles." Took the silver grass and began to tickle Barnaby's round, glowing belly. The beetle erupted into tiny, bell-like giggles. With every laugh, swirls of pure, liquid light spilled out of him, dancing like ribbons in the air. Barnaby rolled onto his back on a soft cushion, his little legs kicking in delight as the excess magic transformed into a beautiful, swirling aurora right in the middle of the room. Azura raised her moonbeam wand and began to spin. She gathered the ribbons of light, weaving them with the starlight from her own gown. With a powerful, graceful wave, she sent the concentrated magic flying into the great lantern. Chime! The glass orb didn't just glow. It sang a deep, resonant note that echoed through the mountains, bursting into a brilliant, eternal blue flame. The Moonlight Festival began as a sea of enchantment. Every leaf in the forest shimmered with the protective silver-blue light. Azura and Pip sat on the palace bridge, carved from frozen starlight, watching the fireflies dance to the beetle's happy giggles. "The smallest heart," Azura whispered, looking at Barnaby, "can hold the greatest light."